This is the Mammotion LUBA Mini AWD 800H, a robotic mower that looks like a tiny track toy and behaves like a mountain goat. My first impression was how low and wide it sits, how solid the body feels, and how quickly the white shell picks up grass stains. It's 33 pounds, so it has some heft when I move it, and the integrated handles help. The bright finish looks premium, but shows every bit of mud. I've rinsed it off with a hose more than I expected, which is fine because it's rated to handle that. Key features that grab me are simple to explain. AWD means all four wheels are powered, so it climbs and crawls over uneven ground instead of getting stuck. The company rates it for an 80% slope, which translates to roughly 38 to 39 degrees. That's steep. The wheels up front are Omni wheels, so it can pivot in place. That's what people mean by zero turn. For navigation, it ditches buried boundary wires and uses RTK plus a camera. RTK is basically a small base station you mount with a clear view of the sky that corrects GPS for centimeter-level accuracy. When satellite signal gets weak under trees, the UltraSense AI Vision camera is supposed to identify grass edges and keep the mower inside your lawn. Cutting happens with a 6-blade disc powered by an 88-watt motor. The cutting width is 7.9 inches, and the cutting height is adjustable from 2.2 to 4.0 inches in the app. It connects over 4G, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, and the app lets me manage up to 20 zones, block off no-go areas, pick patterns like parallel, checkerboard, or diamond, and track it in real time. There are anti-theft tools too, GPS tracking, geofence alerts, and a lock so the first user owns it. From my experience, the terrain performance is the headline. I sent it up a section of yard I usually avoid with a push mower, full of ruts and a nasty incline, and it just kept gripping and climbing. Wet grass didn't faze it. It's also impressively quiet. I measured under 60 dB a few feet away, which is more like a box fan than a mower. That makes it easy to run early or late without bothering anyone. The part that took me the most effort was the setup. Mounting the RTK station sounds trivial until you try to find a spot with clean sky in every direction. Eaves and trees can mess with it. I shifted the pole twice before the app stopped complaining. Then the charging dock needed to be perfectly level. That sounds minor, but a small tilt was enough for the mower to miss the contacts, back up, try again, and fail. I ended up shimming and tamping the base until it was bubble level, and only then did docking become reliable. In my opinion, this is the oddest mismatch in the product. A tough, go-anywhere mower that depends on a perfectly flat parking pad to keep running hands-free. Mapping the lawn without wire was a breath of fresh air. I used the app's joystick to drive the borders. The auto-mapping camera can detect the grass edge, and it worked well along clean edges like concrete and pavers. Along mixed borders with mulch and plants, it took more babysitting. Once the map was set, multi-zone management worked like I hoped. I split my property into front, back, and a hillside area, added a no-go around the fire pit, and the app respected that logic. Cut quality is legit. The 6-blade disc leaves a clean cut, and the patterns do make the lawn look striped and sharp. The 3D lawn printing term in the app is basically an algorithm that shifts route, height, and angle to create designs. It's more than a gimmick if you keep the lawn trimmed regularly. One note, zero-turn pivoting is awesome for tight spaces, but tight pivots can scuff soft turf. I switched to gentler multi-point turns in the app, and that helped, though I still noticed a couple of worn spots after the first week. Now the part that shaped my day-to-day experience, autonomy and runtime. On paper, the coverage is around 0.2 acres, with the box claiming up to 0.25 acres. The cutting width is narrow, and the battery runs roughly 2 hours before it needs a recharge. My unit then took a little under 3 hours to fill back up. That means mowing my yard happens over multiple sessions. It's not a one-and-done pass. It's a steady rotation of mow, charge, mow. If your lawn is near the upper limit, expect it to be out there a lot. The good news is it's quiet. The trade-off is time. Navigation swung between precise and stubborn. Under open sky with solid RTK, it was surgical, hitting stripes cleanly and returning along the same path to dock. Under trees, the camera mode worked some days and stalled on others. I watched it lose satellite correction, hesitate, and then stop with an alert in the app instead of confidently continuing on Vision alone. When it stops, I can't joystick it remotely over cellular. Manual control is limited to Bluetooth range. That's fine if I'm in the yard, not so helpful if I'm not home. The rain sensor does the right thing by pausing and heading back to base. What threw me was that it didn't always resume on its own once things dried out. The app shows the task paused, and I had to hit resume. I've seen the mower pick up where it left off after a normal recharge, but rain pause resumption felt inconsistent. I also want to call out the docking logic. After leveling the dock, it was far better, but before that it would try up to 3 times, fail to seat on the contacts, and then sit there until I helped. If you buy this, budget time to level that pad perfectly. It matters more than you think. In my opinion, the hardware is outstanding and the software is still catching up. The AWD and suspension are the reason to buy this model. The wire-free mapping and pattern mowing are a big quality of life upgrade if you're used to boundary wires. The app is full-featured, but the autonomy falls short when signals get tricky or weather pauses the job. I'm hopeful firmware updates will make the camera-only mode more confident and add smarter auto-resume, because when this thing stays on task, the lawn looks great. It's perfect for tricky yards with steep slopes, bumpy patches, and areas where a traditional robot mower would spin its wheels. If you enjoy tinkering and optimizing placement for the base station and dock, you'll get a lot out of it. If your yard is small, flat, and open, there are simpler mowers that will be easier to live with. From my experience, plan for 3 things. 1. Give the RTK station a clean view of the sky, and don't be afraid to move it if the app warns about signal. 2. Get the dock dead level and test docking a few times before you schedule automatic runs. 3. Set expectations about runtime. The narrow deck and recharge cycle mean your lawn gets maintained gradually, not all at once. I'd recommend this for early adopters who want wire-free mapping, love the idea of crisp stripes, and absolutely need true hill climbing traction. If you want zero babysitting and you're away from home often, the Bluetooth-only manual control and occasional pauses might frustrate you. In conclusion, this is the mower I reach for when terrain is the problem. The cut is clean, it's quiet enough to forget about, and the AWD is real. The price you pay is time spent perfecting setup and occasionally nudging it when signals or weather get in the way. If that trade-off makes sense for your lawn, you'll appreciate what it can do. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and drop your questions or your own experience in the comments. Thank you for watching.